thing. Dogs always.
We're live. We're like, whoa.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Oh, she's
hey.
excited.
She's ready. All right, well, welcome back to the Ordinals Are Dead show. This is like episode, I think, in total 27 or 28.
Nice.
Season 2, episode 4.
Four.
Episode
We've got
4.
multiple numbering systems.
Yeah, we've got too many numbering systems
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, just like Ordinals, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
66 plus million inscriptions. Anyways, welcome back, though. We got some interesting guests on today.
Interesting. It feels like you're insulting me.
Yeah, a little
That's the
interesting,
way I'm
right?
saying it.
Different guests.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
different,
We got Rosenbaum. Yo.
Usually in the background.
We got Began Bot.
Yeah, bot. I'm going to get Began Bot one day. He's tweeted once in 10 years. I just got to get Elon's
Steal it.
attention. I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to.
yeah. And then we have, of course, Jen.
What's that?
Hello. Well, we're back on another interesting episode this week. Interesting people. Special teams, special players.
Special teams, special players. I was going to say, you need some people this week. It's like the news is like, Ordinals are down. And they're like, well, what are other people doing? It's like celebrities,
Exactly.
shitcoins. You got to bring in some people who are experts.
Okay, I have to
who
say
really know.
though, like fuck these celebrity shitcoins.
I'm
I
so
hate that
bored.
stuff, honestly.
What
I gotta say,
You hate them.
I absolutely hate it. Like it's most of the people that are launching, most of the D-list celebrities that are launching stuff is like, it is like
Okay.
their third or fourth time doing this, and we know it's gonna be a rug. We know it is.
Okay, well, so this is Caitlyn Jenner's first one, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Outside of
if
Jenner,
she's
though,
on
outside
her
of Jenner,
if she's on her third coin of this time, is it
Yeah.
still the first one? Just the first one on every chain? Look, like people are making money off of these that know how to sell, but I feel like we are giving them way too much attention, and then everyone gets mad about it, but it's all they're talking about, and it's like D-list clout does nothing for crypto, but honestly, it's on Solana, so I also really don't care.
Oh no, didn't Jenner go over to ETH now, right? It's like-
Oh
guess,
yeah.
yeah.
Cross. She's multi-chain. I heard she's gonna partner with the Layer Zero Foundation. So you're gonna see the big stuff.
maybe. I guess though, Began, how are you playing these celebrity shitcoins?
I'm not really playing them, truthfully.
not?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
not?
not really.
Is anyone on this stage playing them?
No,
though?
I'm
Rosenbaum?
not playing them. I'm
No?
not playing them either.
I got friends who are, and it's the problem is like you literally have to be following the like live wrestling that's happening to know whether it's gonna go up or go down. Be like, right when they join a space, you gotta dump it right away.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They're off the space. This tweet came out. It was confirmed it was AI. You gotta dump it now. It's like you gotta stay on the news. So if you have nothing to do, this seems like a great hobby. This seems like a good time.
I could name like 10 better hobbies.
Well, I'm saying there's people who watch like the Real Housewives of something.
Yeah.
This is like a version
I
of that.
think that would actually be more productive.
But I know for
It's
the
a more
meme
live
coin
version,
world,
yeah.
though, this is easier to follow because at least it's a celebrity that there's some kind of like signal. You don't have to be an insider to see a celebrity
I'm
join.
sorry. There's probably 0% crossover of people that bought Caitlyn Jenner's coin and were already following Caitlyn Jenner.
No. I'm not
Like,
talking about crossover from real world. I'm just saying the
no,
people that are
I'm
in the
saying the
space
people who
looking
are
for meme
buying
coins.
it. Right,
Yeah.
but people in the space, none of them even knew who Iggy Azalea was, right? Like none of them, like I promise
They're not
you.
cultured here. They're not
I
cultured
knew.
here.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how many new followers from crypto did these people get, right? I don't even think they're catering to like their specific audiences. They just know that degens are gonna just throw money at them because they're like, oh my god, we're so validated, we're so cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Let
right.
the Solana kids do that.
They're
guess-
they're not going on like
Not doing it
Instagram
on
promoting
Bitcoin.
crypto outside of their Twitter sphere
No.
token. So it's literally a very targeted approach to the people conversation, and they're not worried about the rest of the world and they're real fans. So I definitely agree with you there.
Well, we'll get to runes in a second, but I guess, Jen, I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on, like, this seems more like it's like one management company that's just telling people to do this shit, and it's horribly done. It's like not being, sort of done, I think, with great advice. Is this like, you being from the music world, is this what's happening here? Or like, why is this happening with,
So these, right? It's not just like one company, but even in the bull run last time, right? Like I remember seeing collab drops for like big artists with like centralized exchanges. And I was like, yo, like, why are you doing this? This is so dumb. Do it right. And they're like, honestly, we just got paid a bunch to do it.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. Right. So I think obviously that was different. That was also like when there was no touring. But no, I think people see a way to make money. And yes, whether they're getting approached by, directly or with their managers, I feel like a lot of these artists are probably doing it without their managers, which they should. And saying this as like an ex-music manager, like have your own wallet, pay your commission, whatever, but like learn crypto, do crypto on your own. I think that's what it's
I love
for.
the idea of them finding out like, let's just check in with Rich the Kid. You did what? You launched a coin. You cannot launch coins without calling me.
Yeah.
New rule. And it's like, no, I met some cool guys at a party. Like, they told me we can launch coin. No, okay.
Yeah.
Matt Trancy.
There is something different about this version of celebs dropping shitcoins. They're on Spaces, all of them, right? So all three appeared on Spaces and talked on Spaces, providing entertainment to us. So it wasn't just a drop by. They're coming over. It was Rich the Kid and Pauly doing a space.
Yeah.
Then it is Caitlyn Jenner and Bart
and
doing
Bart.
a space. Then it's Rich the Kid and Thread Guy. Like each one of them partnered up with big different characters. So half of them super villains in the space.
Okay,
And then Ansem supporting all of them, right?
It's exactly.
And then I bet if any of those people were like, hey, can I get guest list for your next show? They'd be like, no, right? They're not coming into this space to like really engage with it, or they would have engaged prior, right? There are celebrities that have like actually been active participants that are in the group chats, right? And like they care. I don't think that's what this is, but like if people want to get excited, I don't know. I feel like this is so much attention to people who literally do not fucking matter.
No, but like
what celebrities have done it right? Who can we think of? Off
No,
the top?
everyone is complimenting Iggy. Everyone is complimenting the
really?
fact that
Look.
she did a proper stealth launch. She got on Spaces, and that's why all these memes are coming out of Iggy's in the trenches, because everyone's like, "Hot damn, she really knows her stuff. Wow, she seems really cool and down to earth and not like a scammer at all." If you listen to her on Spaces, that's why everyone's saying Iggy.
Last night, and she got me swaying both sides. But at the end of the day, she flat out spoke out loud, just let her thoughts kind of roam, and she doesn't monitor her speech. And she basically said verbatim, like, this token's going to have its cycle. It's going to end eventually. It's not going to like last forever. So we want to get it as high as we can, and then we'll move on to the next project. We'll figure out what it is. And then right before she signed off, she challenged all the listeners. If we can get this to a $20 million market cap, I'll do a booty clap. Yeah, you know what? $20 million market cap is a booty clap.
Other thing is
So
when
like
you
this
start,
is really just a different OnlyFans.
Well, exactly.
Is a way.
Okay,
It's
but
Pump
hold
That
on,
Fund meets
hold on.
OnlyFans.
yeah,
on.
yeah.
so
We can use the same URL.
when you start saying things like that on social media, this is the other thing where I actually think it can have a really big negative impact on our space, right? But like the FTC has been increasingly strict, with social media and how celebrities are disclosing advertisements and talking about certain things. There's like nothing about a shitcoin in the way that these have dropped that are probably compliant in the US where most people are. And like those are the people that are going to bring attention in a negative way and regulation a lot faster because they can affect a lot larger of audiences. So once again, I feel like let's not give these people attention because as funny as it is, like they're going to be the people, like the regulators could give two fucks about a bunch of nerds online doing it to themselves. But when there's people that can reach a lot larger of an audience and are doing it in an irresponsible way, that's when like things become problematic.
Well, like if this does like continue on, the FTC picks it up, it's going to result in some really great some great lawsuits. They're really going to have to say like, where is it a security if you say it's for a booty clap? It is an event. It is an image. It is not utility.
Right.
That's not what you're promising. And then if that means that some government official has to then fight and say booty claps are utility. And who's that lawyer? I'm excited to follow it.
Yeah, the USA versus booty claps.
yeah.
I mean, look, let's protect the booty claps, right? Like I think we need more of those.
They might
in
get
Web3.
regulated finally.
Maybe we'll get more. They're like, you must have a minimum of X amount.
Well,
of
maybe
booty claps.
this will cure incel, culture in crypto.
That's
100%. This is the way. Iggy
Okay.
Azalea's fixing it. Okay, well, they're like all the different Solana mostly, but all the different little groups of people all had their own giant spaces. It was kind of like, whoa, look at this. You got 1,300 people over here, 7,000 over here. Whoa, something popped up over here. And then I look over there and I'm like, Ordinals Rune MFers, go grab French Montana, get him on a space and say, let's do this. Yeah. And don't be left behind. Come on. You could have been, Ansem would have accepted you.
But
yeah, that's true. That's true. Where the hell is our
I feel
celebs?
like there's two reasons why not to do that. And one, I mean, French Montana, did his research, right? Like he reached out to a lot of people. I think that there's not as much of an immediate financial upside on doing a rune, especially in the way that they trade, right? And but also I feel like let's keep Bitcoin fucking pure, right? Like ordinals can be, and pure is such a stupid word, but ordinals, people that understood it, that's who got into it early, right? And everyone is welcome, but we don't need to lure people in with celebrities because we have an awesome chain where everything is going to end up eventually. And honestly, the coolest vibes. I don't like the celebrity drama spaces. I'm
But
so
Iggy
bored.
was a good vibe, though, right? You agree?
Yeah.
Like, right?
She was a
No
good
joke.
vibe. I mean, she had fun on the space, but it's very, very, very clear that she has no clue what she's talking about. She might be interested in the space, but she's definitely just looking to get on simps and cash them out. So as long as you know what you're getting into and you're playing like by the rules, that's fine. You can play, you can have fun, you can get the token, all that good stuff, but you have to know that she ain't serious. It's fact.
Yeah. Well, talking, I think, a little bit more about, other fungible tokens or, sort of problems in fungible tokens right now. You've had, I think, a bit of an issue in some of the runes. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen runes, I think, not do the best, but over the past 24 to 48 hours, I think they've been sort of ripping, with Dog really leading. I think Leonidas has created a monster.
Yeah.
Mid-curve, I guess, monster is what it's called. But I think some of the problems there, right? You have migration problems with I think pups in particular. You have, Wizard that hasn't sort of migrated, over to runes yet entirely. And of course others. But I guess wanted to get maybe your thoughts, Rosenbaum, on this dilemma from pups in particular, in, I guess, being like split across now like 4 different chains. That's what I'm seeing. I think the problem of is like a lot of value is being accrued to Dog because it's only on runes now. But Pups is was in the lead for a second because of Ansem and other things, but now they're like stuck on 4 different chains. They're still migrating. It's only like 30%.
Yeah,
it's a serious problem.
I mean, it's a serious problem. And I think it goes to show the why things pumped so much prior, right? Because there's so much hype about the launch of runes that shit got chaotic. We had all kinds of airdrops. We had pre-runes. We had all these different things going on. And then you had Pups launching early to kind of capture that hype and gain that first initial liquidity pump there. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but like, don't we want tokens on every single chain and every single DEX if it's going to be the biggest token in the world, right? Bitcoin doesn't just trade on Bitcoin; it trades on all the DEXs. You can even trade wrap Bitcoin on all the other EVM chains and everything else. So like, I get that, and we need pups on runes to make it official and all that good stuff. But is the plan to like eliminate it on every chain too, or?
Well, I think it shouldn't be maybe the plan, but it's more so like, when you have a rune or you have a token, I think on a certain chain, that's where I think, or originating chain is probably the best way to put it. I think that's where the majority of value should accrue or will accrue. And then when you have multiple other ecosystems for that token, it just confuses people, I think. Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
It just fragments really liquidity and intention.
I have pups on Solana, and I have not yet burned my rune or my ordinal for the rune, right? We have a deadline until the 8th. We're all degens. No one is going to do stuff until the 7th, right? So nothing is going to move until that day, and people see where stuff is. And that just is what it is. I set an alarm for the 7th, actually, because I know I'll still probably wait until the last minute.
I guess the question is why, though? Why are you waiting until the 7th?
Just because I have other stuff going on, and like, I'm not in a rush to do it. Like, I don't care. Right?
But it only takes a couple minutes, though.
No,
there's
but
a lot of other things on my
seconds,
to-do
really.
list. Like, I just haven't gotten to it, and like, I have time for that. There's other priorities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's live.
But I actually think like there's so many people that are paying attention to pups, right? And they are bridging to Bitcoin for the first time from Solana. I think that like having trades split between the two actually creates like a lot of our opportunity. And like, if you understand both chains, or if you don't, like trying to learn new ones, right? I've seen group chats of like my friends that trade mostly on Solana, that was what brought them into Bitcoin. And so I think that's positive.
Well, there's a problem because it goes 2 different ways. There's people who were in the Bitcoin world and then said, okay, cool, we got some shit coins. This is pretty cool. Okay, cool. Rune's going to be an evolution of that. Oh, cool. This little Solana temporary place. Let me go check it out. And they went from Bitcoin to Solana. And there's some people who are in Solana and they said, oh, cool, Pups, I can buy this thing up. I'm kind of getting exposure over in the Bitcoin world. The problem you got to be afraid of, though, is anyone who's only Bitcoin went over to Solana, they're getting a little taste of crack, and they're going to be like, whoa, how much did I pay for that fee? Oh, my God, how fast was that?
No.
Oh, and I can do a couple more of those trades?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they forget to go back to their other life, and they go, oh, shit, I've been trading Solana.
Absolutely not.
Oh, no, I watch people get lost.
I've
watched them get lost.
I have the exact opposite. I'm like, Solana's the most inefficient thing. The only thing I like is being able to like trade with emojis on my phone, right? Like that is stupid and that is crack, and I'm sure that.
Well, they now have that on Bitcoin too.
Right.
Wait, how?
with I think NukeBot or something, or yeah.
Okay, cool.
NukeBot, I think is
But
the name.
like,
Emoji's good. I'm in.
Really,
Yeah.
this is the best way for me to get back to Bitcoin is like, okay, if I have like a tiny bit of Sol profits, which was literally one thing ever, I'm not good at trading on Sol, but it's like, all right, I'm going to buy like Zbit and pups and things that go both because I'm just bored and I want to feel something right now and the blocks are too slow. And yeah, eventually I'll bridge it back to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
No, but I'm telling you, it's just there's a problem. There's some people, and they just get a little taste of this beautiful Solana world, and then you forget about it. You don't want to bridge back. You're like, I'll just keep it on Solana.
Well, when they
Yeah.
no
turn
big deal.
Solana
I think
off
that there's-
and Bitcoin's still on,
Yeah, I think that there, like,
come back.
I guess to Jen's point, I think there's also this point of like, yeah, there's a lot more opportunity and things move a lot quicker, but that means there's also 10x more opportunity for you to lose your money.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I
You're
mean?
so broke so fast.
So
You're
it's
what
like-
the hell? I was just doing one Sol bets. You're
Exactly.
Like, you spent
Or
100
like-
Sol, you idiot. And you're like,
Yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah.
going
or
on?
like 0.1 Sol is literally like $5. So you're like, oh my God, I like 3x. And you're like, wait, this was literally no money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got Luis in the chat. He's asking, "Is this live?" Yes,
It
it
is
is.
live.
We're 100% live here.
All right, so actually, let's dive in here because there's the migration problem rune, or what do you want to call them, wherever they want to exist. These hybrid
Yeah.
things here. There's the stable ones. There's RSIC, there's Dog. It seems like those might have been plays. Dog is like, I mean, the meme is just not good and it's just unrelenting. But that works. I guess that works now. Maybe. That's
But that
gonna
I
be the
think
new play.
maybe is that like the thing now where it's
Maybe.
like it's such a bad meme that it's a meme.
Yeah, he's got, it's just good, the consistency of it. It just banged over my head with not only just that, like, Dog, it's a meme. Here's some charts. It's going up. Dog, it's a meme. Someone just bought it. Dog, it's a meme. We're like, okay,
So-
okay.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
all caps, all
there's-
caps.
and
The caps
like,
lock stays on.
Yeah.
Leo needs to get like props for this, right? Even though sometimes I felt like it was a little bit misleading to be like, this is the largest token, like we have more, whatever. It was like, yes, this is the biggest distribution. So like comparing the market cap of that to a Bored Ape is like not the same thing. But eventually you see all these like bull numbers and like now it does have a big market cap, right? So I think like those things eventually did add up. But I think you're also seeing something where like every single person that was early in Ordinals had some exposure to this for the most part.
God, you're just
and-
preaching
and,
Leo's
like,
mission, just
I
like
know,
every
and
single
I
outtake.
was like, I hate this, but like I think we're seeing how that has actually like done really well for it. And
Yep.
so even if I don't want it to win, right? Like I'm
is
not
what it
mad
is.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the low caps as well, right? You had Donald Trump, of course, which on other chains has been ripping, because of all the attention that it's been getting. But also, there's the cats and the sats, which is, I guess, sort of like this. They've positioned it as, hey, like this dog token is worth this much, a cat token must be worth this much.
Yes.
So like that ripped 130.
I like how there's 5 million cat tokens,
I know.
runes, but then this one goes, no, you don't get it, guys. This is like the first one on runes. Like, no, it's not. You're like, no, don't worry about it.
No, really,
We're the
that's all.
cats.
All it takes is a little narrative,
It's
right? That's all it
time
is.
and attention, right?
Yeah.
Like if you launch something first, but no one sees it,
Yeah.
like, did you even launch it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
not first, right?
Well, there's this thing. If you buy RSIC or Dog, you don't have to participate in anything. I don't need to get on
Yeah.
Twitter. I need a dog post. No, you don't. You buy it. You wait. There's an army out doing things.
Yeah.
If I buy cats and the sats, it might get a little, not as hot in 2 weeks, and I got to go. Maybe I got to get on the Twitter. Maybe I got to get on some spaces. Maybe I got to go on to the Shill My Rune space or make some memes. So it's like there might be more work, but then might be more upside. If you have time to make memes all day.
Well, any other, Rosamond,
I
other
mean, I
low
like-
caps that you're sort of taking
I
a
like
look at?
Waddle Waddle, to be honest with you. The Cold-Blooded Schiller took over the project, and their Twitter just seems to be on point at all times. They've been very, very consistent, very clean, very professional. They're doing a lot of education videos, teaching people how to operate with their runes. So it feels like they're, I don't know. Do you want that from a meme coin? Do you want your meme coin teaching you how to split your runes? I don't know, but I just like the activeness, the activity on their Twitter.
Yeah.
They're
Still-
maintaining their price pretty good.
A Wanko Maxi, just because I say I will not lose to the dog like 20 times a day.
Yeah, it's a good piece of vernacular that we
Yeah.
all added. And
I
we keep
feel
using.
like that's just, we keep saying it, right? And so things that are in culture, but I also think there's a ton of room for like, other things to come in there. And I think we've definitely seen like first does not matter at this point. That's already like there, that narrative's already there. But like as stuff gets easier, right? I think we see this with a lot of shitcoins, and like as things get easier to trade, as more people are paying attention to runes, coins are going to launch that have larger communities off the bat. And so I think like, yeah, it's going to be exciting for a while.
No, 100%. I think also, I think what's interesting with that low cap sort of stuff with Trump, right? Trump was just convicted of whatever he did in New York, but then Trump ended up, I think on all chains ended up ripping anyways. So I don't know. I guess somehow that's really bullish.
This cycle, like
it's crazy.
As we're in a
Bowden
election year, yeah, it makes sense.
We need Trancy on here.
I honestly think that like I think there's going to be such cool information that comes from like the way that these political coins trade and then like what happens with election results. And I don't know. I feel like this is how people are going to look back in history. Like I said this before, but like anything that's happening in the world right now, like you have the country coins that are all ripping on Solana, and it's like, okay, you go back and like history textbooks are going to be like, this is how the world reacted. This shitcoin, USA pumped, USA dumped,
It's like, you're talking to your parents and you're talking about different coins that have pumped and you're like, you know what I mean? These are not world events. They're just
one day it's going to be a story. It's like, it's going to be the richest person alive. And it's like, how'd you do it? It's like, I saw it coming, World War III. So exactly what I did is
the house,
I shorted
the car, all of it on this short.
But the bets will be things like I shorted Trump. I went long on Bowden. I shorted North Korea, went long on Iran, made my fortune that way. And it'll be like, it'll be people who know about politics and
honestly,
memes.
there was like a Hillary Clinton coin and like the ticker was clit. And I was like, obviously buying this. And like, I should have known. That was not going to go up, right? Like, duh. So I do think,
result news.
I guess, thinking about things that haven't gone up as well, right, is Ordinals.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, everyone's been focused on runes. Okay, hold on.
Before we switch to Ordinals,
okay, hold on.
And just on the topic of Trump, I feel like he said something really big and talking about how if he's elected, he will free Ross. And that's fucking awesome. I think that, I don't ever trust a politician to do anything. I think that we need to like call on Biden to like, hey, if you think you have a chance with crypto people, do this now. Let's get it done before the election.
A little competition.
Yeah.
Wait, Trump did free ASAP Rocky from Sweden. He did that.
He
did that like right away. He's kept up his word.
He's within the culture.
Yeah, he understands that. Yeah.
But no, I think to Jen's point, like I really don't trust. I think the politicians this cycle. I mean, as
this cycle,
any other,
the last cycle,
as in any other,
like, this cycle,
they're the same ones. Okay, wait, but they're the exact same ones. So do you think like the market is gonna follow exactly like? I don't know.
Well, just be careful, right? I think a lot of people are instantly going like, "Oh, this is why I'm going to vote for Trump because he said like free Ross." And it's like, okay, there's a lot more to just like saying something like that and then actually executing on that post, election. Can he even do that, right? What does that process look like, et cetera, et cetera?
I'm just saying, why don't we encourage Biden to do it now? Why wait for Trump, right? Like, let's start that movement. Let's start that call to action.
Let's start it.
Well, it depends how many likes. If Trump got a lot of likes on that tweet, then you can sure bet that Biden will probably do it.
Yeah, well, you guys saw that it was like Biden put out like he's hiring someone to make memes for the campaign. We need someone to make memes.
Crypto advisor too.
And it's like
crypto advisor. Well, Musk just jumped on board to be Trump's crypto advisor.
Yeah.
I heard that wasn't true. But
Chief shit poster.
I gotta look at that.
Did you?
I was just in DC for a month, and I think like the general sentiment there is pretty positive. Obviously, there's a lot of big news that has come out in the past month, but really like all the people that are working on legislation and have been in the trenches, it doesn't matter who's president, right? There's so many other parts of what happens to create policy, and like the sentiment was like the most positive I've ever heard it, which I think is cool.
Yeah, we got to focus more on taking over things like, I don't know, the railroads. No one's looking at those right now, and we could assert our influence there, or a small town, or you know what I mean. We don't need to worry about the president.
The railroads, like
no one's looking at them.
Honestly, let's do that. Biden does love the trains, but like Boeing is going down, literally, right?
Whoa.
I feel like this is an opportunity.
Yeah. Train. I think train. Everyone's like scared of planes right now.
Yeah.
Train's gonna go up. I'm investing.
Hey, I'm gonna be on some trains in Europe soon. So yeah.
Oh, you really
like
see?
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they do it right. They do it right.
100%.
You have more foot room. You're on your laptop. They always have Wi-Fi. It's just better. In a plane, it's terrible.
Yeah, I know Japan. They have a lot of trains.
Oh, they kill it on the trains. They're beautiful and nice.
Everywhere but the U.S. Right?
California tried doing it. They've been working on one for 10 years from NorCal to SoCal, and
I know.
still haven't gotten it done.
All right, I'm gonna get like real money first, real profits in the train
Back
infrastructure.
to crypto, but
Back to
if Vegan wins crypto, we get
If I
trains.
win crypto,
Yes.
yes.
yeah. The next single will be, sponsored as that. All right. Well, I guess we got some Ordinals, right? Ordinals have not been doing too well in the shadow of runes, really. Why is that? Though?
Everyone's dunking.
Why is that? What happened, right? Those what happened tweets.
I mean, like, it did get really shitcoiny, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, really, like, which Ordinals are so slow. You're just gonna you're getting distracted is what's going on. Right before, when things aren't as crazy in the shitcoin world, you're just losing money on stuff. It's easy to I don't know, participate in this world. And so while stuff's crazy, right when the shitcoins all die, everyone's like, all right, let me go back to Ordinals. Oh, this is a great, nice break. And then you get a break in life, you can still make money. I tell you, they're just two different paces of it'd be glued all day versus let's. So
I think it is cyclical for sure. But at the same time, there was the narrative, right? There was a strong, very, very strong narrative in Ordinals, which was the whole halvening, right? So there's a lot of hype leading up to that, and the runes meta was on fire. I mean, shoot, we got paid for days just for holding a puppet, just for holding that rune stone, right? So there's so much money that we made, and there's so many airdrops. We saw it in ETH too, right? Whenever people are getting free money, it's easy to have fun. It's easy to keep the hype going. So now that narrative has come, it's gone. We're at the reset period. I'm not fearful for Ordinals by any means. I just think that let the dust settle a bit, and a new narrative is going to pop up here any day.
Is it time to bring that back though? Is it time? Is that the maybe next catalyst? It's time to bring back some airdrops? We need some stimmies.
right back to airdrop. No, airdrops is the final. That's where things are dying.
Oh man, I need some
You
stimmies.
can run back. No, you can run back a lot of
can't
metas.
believe
There's a
that.
lot of new metas. You
You've been
haven't
chasing
run
that
through
meta ever since.
You haven't run through 100 different you know what I'm saying? Ordinals have not done 1,000 things you could do in different ways about actually utilizing the chain, doing recursive to parent to this.
What are some ideas? Can you give a couple ideas, speaking?
I mean, so a lot. Well, first of all, we're gonna have to see what happens when 420 comes out, right?
Okay.
So when Bit 420 comes out, that should theoretically
So
open
you're a big
up.
OpCat guy.
Big OpCat guy. I'm investing in it. I don't know. It's good and bad, right? Because one is you open up for all these bad things potentially getting hacked, things like that. All these new types of scams.
But
It's gonna
what
be scam
bad
heaven.
thing can happen? No one has been able to answer.
No,
this
I'm
question.
just gonna be able to be more flexible in hiding different scams in different ways.
Right.
That's it.
Okay,
So
got you.
every other
Yeah, you gotta be
chain in
creative.
all
Yeah,
of
exactly.
life.
Yeah, it's just a little harder on Bitcoin. It's
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Just be more
it's-
careful, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Be more careful. No,
Just
but
don't
it'll be
click
fun.
things, right?
Scams are getting more. That's how they go. They get more elaborate. They get more hilarious. We don't know if what's AI, what's not AI. We don't know if Caitlyn Jenner is being manipulated by a marketing company setting her up. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on. But there's going to be a whole new fun world of different types of projects that are creative with it and do cool new things. And then a couple of those will pop off, and everyone will go, "Oh my god, I can get rich!" And we'll see some hype over there. There's a bunch of stuff with runes people haven't done yet. People haven't been using LIFO's fractionalized asset protocol to be able to say, okay, great, let's take one asset and split it into runes, and then hey, put them all together, and you can get the asset. You can start doing a bunch of wacky stuff.
The bar is so low
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
The bar is low.
for runes and Ordinals.
But I also think look, we kind of all knew this was going to happen, right? It was other side. People were making so much money, right? So they had airdrops, so they were buying things. You're in this time of euphoria. They probably made money, and then they don't care about holding stuff as much. Or you had other people coming in with awful expectations. But stuff slows down. It's this summer. I feel like this is good buying time, and we kind of predicted that would happen prior. I also think that the next meta is not something that we're going to predict, right? It's not going to be the obvious thing. It's going to be the thing that no one was expecting that comes in and does something differently and brings attention back to Ordinals and to whatever's next.
I'll say we're not going to predict it. We're going to build it. All right,
Let's
man.
do it. Let's
Well,
do it.
also you had all these ETH and Solana people coming in that that was big profits for them. They're not going to hold long term because they're used to things dying in a week.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, dare I say it's still a little PvP right now in the Ordinals world. We need new players, I think, or new people bringing some money in.
We need new blood.
New
We
blood.
do. I mean, we need
Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm-
So you gotta take that Solana money. and
I'm
bring it over here.
so
Correct.
anti
you gotta get the people with the
exit
Jenner money.
liquidity. No,
mean, the
here's the
celebrities
thing.
We
are
need normies
exit
for
left,
exit
right?
liquidity, but we need new
No.
participants.
Celebrities will be our
But I
liquidity,
just think, as long as you expand the ecosystem, no one has to lose, right? And I feel like this narrative of oh, we're just waiting for our exit liquidity to come in is so dumb because one, we should be onboarding everyone hey, this is the currency of the future and you actually don't want to ever sell, right? Yes, of course, right now you need to pay to live your life. I'm not sell shaming, but right when I got onboarded, it was in 10 years, Bitcoin will run everything. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. I will never be someone's exit liquidity because this is what I believe
won't
in.
exit.
Yeah, this is what I believe in for the future. And like, of course, exit in and out of projects. But I think like we need to reframe that because we want new people to have the benefits of the blockchain and the benefits of Bitcoin.
Well, that's the thing, though. The ETH people, I think, are our biggest and best recipients. I mean, that's where I come from, right? I would almost consider myself an ETH maxi before really getting the aha moment with what's happening on Bitcoin Ordinals. And I think that there's a lot of people like that, provided they do a little bit of exploring. I don't know. We just need that next round of ETH people. I mean, I've seen a few. I just use Graylers as an example all the time. It's a small segment of the space, but there's a 300 or so dedicated people. But you're seeing that Bitcoin channel progressively grow, and it did come in chunks. It came through that first Node Monk chunk, and then it came through the Runes chunk. So there hasn't been any new blood in there since Runes have dropped. But I'm excited to see that kind of these high level ETH folks continue to kind of find their way into Ordinals.
I also think like there was this narrative, right, which was dumb, that like, oh my God, you're never going to see under like 100 sats per VByte post happening ever again. Like if you're not on Bitcoin now, like you're never going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So one, people were like buying stuff because they thought they wouldn't be able to sell. That obviously didn't happen. Sats per VByte are like the lowest they've been in a long time. So do stuff. And I think it also, a lot of people were like, well, now I have to go back to the drawing board because I'm never going to be able to afford to do something on Ordinals. And now you're seeing a lot of ETH people being like, okay, wait, we actually can still do this. So shout out to all the fear mongers. But yeah.
Well, no, it got a little crazy too, where like, you're telling like, hey, ETH people, come over here. And then you're looking at the prices and OMBs and Node Monks and things are 0.4. And you're like, whoa, that's like really expensive. I have to like trade in my whole ape, you're saying, for one of these. And it was like, it got way high, way fast on a lot of collections, and it did prevent people coming over because they're also going over there and saying, "Oh, look it's just the same art," or "Oh, and they're not even doing utility." It's like, which is I still think a good thing, right? But it's like,
Well, I think
when
this is a
ETH
great
was
segue
at 4K though, people were buying multiple ETH priced. People were minting multiple ETH assets and paying an ETH or two.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? When crypto
floor.
is at its peak, everyone's buying. When it's at its lows, that's when you should be buying, but people aren't, right? But anyways, I think that Beacon, your point sort of provides a really interesting segue into what we maybe think are good buys, under certain price points.
Yeah,
right?
totally. I'm so sick of people telling me, it's like, what do you buy? And it's like, OMB. I'm like, I know. It's like, yo, I'm looking for a car to drive. And they're like, dude, the Rolls Royce are great. I'm like, I need a car to drive. I'm like, dude, I mean, the Bentleys are good too. I'm like, dude, you gotta fucking help me.
I mean, I like the Lambos too. Yeah, totally. No, I mean, what do you think, or maybe Rose, what do you think is a great buy under 0.1 right now?
So my buying is
also
no
financial advice ever. These just personal opinions.
Point one, I always buy smaller. So point one, I have some more better buys below that. Should we start at point one, or you want me to give my buys at the other levels?
Yeah. No,
I mean,
point
honestly,
one is good.
Yeah, point one. I don't know too much in between that 0.05, 0.1 range, to be honest with you. I've held stuff through that, but I would say probably Blob is my favorite under 0.1 that has a chance to kind of go that level. There's other projects I like better that are cheaper and way more undervalued, but if we're getting closer to that 0.1 range, I think Blob has a chance to get there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that choice a lot. I think for me, I guess moving to some of the other sort of, I think like under 0.05, I like the Natcats.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like the Natcats a lot. I think they have that sort of the first on DMT narrative. The art is I'd say pretty good. I think the reason for them maybe having a little bit of some problems, I guess more recently, is like not too many people are into DMT anymore. The whole tap ecosystem, they've actually had a bunch of controversy over their tokenomics they just released as well.
Yeah.
I guess like 40% is going to the team, so it's
They
it's a bit anyways, but that's my sort of choice. I think under 0.05. Maybe your thoughts being on 0.05 or 0.01.
I was gonna say at the 0.05, like actually I was looking at Natcats like just yesterday, because it is this thing where you look at it, you're like, okay, first DMT, it's been around. It does feel like there's still activity on them.
Yeah.
And then no one's copied the image really, so it's not overly flooded right now, but which sometimes that's good or bad. I don't know. There seems to be something interesting there. But yeah, if DMT goes away, then what's going to be the whole point of this? Or is it going to be the one cool guys, we used to do DMT back in the day? But is the tech going to end up leaving it behind for other? I got to find out like what happens if no one ever does anything DMT ever again. What will their interoperability be? If it's going to be fine, then that might be good. Truthfully, I mean, I base everything off Twitter. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so I read Lifo's tweets. I have my noties on. He's fighting with people about stuff. He's released multiple updates to Ordinals, the actual Ordinals, what do you call it, client.
Gotcha.
So it's like, he's definitely, I think he's going to figure out new interesting directions. And obviously he's like, when Runes came out, Runes Blaster, like building tools there. And I look at the price, I'm like, dude, what the hell? These wizards are like cheap.
Yes.
And you're like, this dude is like continually not only putting out stuff that people are all using, that is not even related to his project. And the projects are moving like Ordinals forward and making people money with
I guess
runes.
that's always been the problem, right? I think Jen, before we go to you
Yeah.
on some of your picks, is like I think that's always been some of the problems with different projects is like the founders and the team are doing incredible things on the tech side, but unfortunately a lot of times it just doesn't translate into floor price or sort of like interest or you know thoughts on Twitter. I don't know. That's the only unfortunate part, but I totally agree with you. I think LIFO, especially right now, over these past 3 or 4 months, has been one of the most active people on the technical side.
Oh yeah, totally.
With Sanj and others too.
Yeah, so you wonder like, well, maybe it's a good thing. People can afford and get into the project and like interact right now, and it's not like this crazy like, you know, oh my God, ZK's popping into a space and all the OMBs be here. You know what I mean? LIFO doesn't quite have that. It's a little easier access. But I don't know. Would if LIFO had more money, if like the price went up, would that actually end up with, oh, I can make more cool tech and do cool stuff? If the answer is yes, then you should figure a way to do that and bring some memers in, and then everyone will probably make more money. Because remember, some tech people see the ads that tech doesn't matter. See, I'm a programmer, ads, okay?
And also,
it hurts. Dots ads is in your name. That's a piece of technology. Some programmer had to make that.
there's no royalties, right? So like
yeah.
price going up doesn't really affect him. But I do think like product wise, right? Like holders got direct access to things that directly made them more money, and that is always going to be something if you like to be early and you're maybe not a dev and want tools. But yeah, I think people don't care about the tech, but they do care about having access to things that will make them money.
Totally. Well, I think that's how you are seeing a lot of the old ETH projects try and pivot to now. They're trying to notice, oh my God, we need to focus on making our people get money. We need to be hustling for whitelist. We need to make sure they're getting access to communities early and just able to make cash so they're not mad at us, so they're at least doing something. And now projects are building that in from the go. There's kind of 2 different ways. There's like, we're a cute, cool community culture. We're going to run around, get whitelist, and we're cool on spaces, and you want our crew rocking with you. Or there's like, which is cool, you get a whitelist, you can make some money. Or it's like, I make tech. That tech helps you snipe faster. You know, RBF helps you mevbot and runes or whatever hell new things. So there's like 2 different ways, and you know, one of them is, you know, it's going to be a little bit more crazy. Like you're going to have to be a little more technical probably to do all
I think
this
it's
stuff.
always community. At this point, the tech doesn't really matter because I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, what projects have the tech made the floor price go up? I mean, when LIFO made that tool available for free to everybody, then the price actually went down. So I guess in that case, the tech actually did raise the floor price, but then they made it available to everybody. So
I think you're going to see like, look with like on
maybe
ETH with Anonymous, right? That was like a highly technical project. And yeah, the price went down at certain times, but like every time it was relevant, it would pump again. But it has such a strong core group of holders. And like I used to spend so much time in the Anonymous Discord. I learned so much there. Anyone from like the real world that was like, what project do I buy? I was like, this is where you go because you will see like actual knowledge on all of these different topics, and they're like 3 steps ahead of everyone because they're building everything, right? It's a different type of alpha. So I do think those communities end up being stronger and like have made so much off of existing there that like floor price is not the only metric, you know?
Well, no, that's actually it's super interesting. It's so true. Like I never hang out in whatever the highest asset price I have is.
I never even verified in the Bored Ape server.
Yeah, it's like yeah. There's like certain ones you just go, well, this community is good. And you're not like, oh, the price is down. The price. You're like, no, this is where I talk to people and get info. And something hits the fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Oh shit, some technical thing happens. I need some info. I'm going over here. I'm not like, check floor prices. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's so I don't know.
And
that means you also have to extract value, though, sometimes. And I want to say you want to share value, too. That means you have to go in the Discord, read the messages, communicate with people, you know, act on stuff in a timely manner. It's not going to be like, I bought it. It didn't go up. It's like, yeah, you're not going to make your money. If you sat in there and read, you might, like, actually find some things to do.
Before we go to another topic, though, Jen, what are your thoughts on I don't think you gave a
Oh, yeah.
I would say Femoji 2.0s. Like, those are 0.015-ish right now. I just checked the price because I never check the price. But I feel like that community is just the best, right? And honestly, every time I look in that chat, and not financial advice, it's obviously not an alpha chat, but like people are normally talking about things where I'm like, ooh, I should pay attention to this. And then it ends up being a good buy. But it's just a lot of people that have been there for a while. Like the price has been, pretty consistent. But it's a good team. It's good people. It's good vibes.
Totally. I mean, Sanj and Donnie, one of the
Literally
best
the
people, I
best.
think, in the ecosystem. And I think they have
Discords I lurk a lot.
yeah,
in
they have
too.
I think really the best interest of their holders. I think out of like, I think like Inscribed Pepe's as well. Like those guys I've seen, like they've given away a ton of stuff. They're always active in there. Famojis, the Gob team, like all these different sort of projects I have a lot of respect for. I think moving on to some other stuff, right? Out of Ordinals into some interesting stuff. BRC20 is just not going away. Right?
Well, if this gets
still
done,
here,
it's
right?
not. Well, if this gets done, it might kill Runes. It might not just be not going away.
Is this the Runes killer?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So what we're talking about is this layer 1 foundation swap module, which essentially, if we can get this little piece of tech approved, we're going to be able to, build some liquidity pools for BRC20 tokens, and might be able to open up like trading at a much faster, easier. It's like all the Solana boys are going to be able to trade how they're used to trading with probably some, longer block times. So there'll be some settlement time or something like that. But this could like really accelerate like making BRC20s. Like everyone right now in Runes is like, I'm trading a bundle of Runes. It's like, no, I want to sell. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
So
whatever chunk I want.
my question, I have 2 questions, right? And I'm not as technical as you, but could this same technology be applied to Runes?
Yeah, it's just they're just different implementations. So the idea is the same. Like and you
Yeah.
can definitely do it in Runes. It's just not going to look exactly like this, just because they're
Right.
fundamentally stored in some different ways. So the answer is yes. It's just the question is this is beating them there first. So does it mean that if Runes gets or sorry, if BRC20 gets this first, it's going to just kill Runes and BRC20 just takes off so much that if Runes can't get this out soon after, they might be screwed. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
think
don't
we
know they
get
get
to
there
this
first.
point with BRC20s, right, where fees become so crazy that the momentum kind of dies. And so that was like the original problem. I've also heard another perspective of like this essentially will centralize all pools and get rid of ARB opportunities and like will be the BRC20 killer.
Yeah, so I think a couple things. One is I think have a lot of respect for Domo and
Oh,
this
Yeah.
sort of
1,000.
whole thing in particular, because I had the opportunity to chat with him the day of this sort of thing coming out. I guess sometime this week, either Monday or Tuesday. And his whole push is that this specific swap module and anything that L1F discusses and honestly like Unisat does as well is open sourced. Right, that's his whole push is to make sure that this thing is open source, and of course Unisat and other companies can sort of build their own implementations from there. But that there's open source sort of discussion, and that this is fully open source. I think second is I actually think that like these liquidity pools and these swaps and all this sort of stuff has been experimented with and honestly has been out there for a bit. There's a couple different companies that have tried this. I think that like we've just become so used to how things have been traded currently that we want, of course, liquidity pools, we want swaps, all that stuff. But I think it's going to need to be incentivized, just like we've seen everywhere else on every other chain. For it to
what if
actually
what
be-
if we
need
used it and we got
points,
airdrops?
Yeah,
Yes, points.
exactly.
Ah,
Like,
that
I
sounds
just
good.
think,
I
like,
like the
deals,
sound of
bro.
this.
Yeah.
Deals, baby.
Like,
But
I think-
the other thing is I think everyone will incentivize people, right? Like it's smart, it's a win for everyone, it's the next stimmy. But I don't think people necessarily need to be incentivized because people want the functionalities that this will provide, right? They don't want to be trading bundles. They don't want to be just like we're still kind of trading runes like inscriptions. You kind of just get to pick what size you get. It's like picking a rare trade or not. You know?
Well, everyone is like, there's people that, definitely in Bitcoin, in almost every chain of the major chains right now. If anything comes out like this that is being built in public, people are working on it in the background, implementing and trying to have a website ready to go at launch. We saw that with Runes. All the wallets, all the websites were pushing updates the whole time, right? Magic Eden, even a big old company, like 2 days later, they got their, tab ready. The developers didn't build that the moment Runes went live. They've been working on that for a while.
But-
Same thing with these things. So it's going to be multiple people competing. Who's going to win from the competition? They need the most liquidity there. They actually need people to lock their money, pool it there. So the only way I use anything is if I get some points. I need some diamonds. I need some sort of emojis that go up that people tell me I can trade later.
I want to do better. I want you to airdrop me some Bitcoin to go trade, right? Like, I don't even want these future, it might amount to something. No, give me Bitcoin, be like, go trade.
Yeah.
But
no,
I
the
do
emoji, we can
think-
gamble on that thin, though.
I think something that like is important, right? Like, they didn't make it right in that second that Runes launched, but like Runes wasn't finalized until, it could have changed.
Yeah.
People shipped incredibly fast. Like, we're, frustrated about the lack of tooling, but at the same time, like, there's never been things built like this on Bitcoin before. And Bitcoin was not meant to be built on like this. So I think obviously Opcat would change that a lot. But also, like, it's kind of amazing how fast some people are getting stuff out. So props to the builders.
No, totally.
We say winner between the two, but the fact is they can both coexist, I feel like, because when you look at all these new wallets that are coming out and all these people that are saying that you're going to be able to have these DEX-like systems for Runes and BRC20s, they list both that are going to be tradable. So I see it's probably going to coexist with each other. But if we're going to talk about winners at the end of the day, I mean, there's like maybe 800 or so BRC20s that have been created. There's over 75,000 Runes that have been created, right? So the attention, the mind share is obviously on Runes. And to Jen's point, even though it's still clunky, I mean, shoot, BRC20 has been out for a year, and there's like half the tooling that exists for that compared to what's happening for Runes. I mean, this new upgrade, the swap module might be a great, advancement for that, but I don't know. I feel like Runes already has the mind share.
Because where do Runes gets all stored on chain, right? Like, it's on chain states. Yeah. And so BRC20s are like off chain states. So I think that's also important in like how far is something like that really going to go in a community that is focused on decentralization, right? And like on one end, there's something that you can do there that, might provide for like things that people really like. But on the other, I think just like as far as tooling, right? That's why it's easier, because that is still like you have to trust that protocol versus ordinals and things are stored off chain.
Yeah, I got to double check on exactly how BRC20 is stored for just the state chain, because I know like the actual like inscribing of it or minting of it is on chain.
Yeah, but essentially, and we had someone do this, right? And it most of the time would not make financial sense to do this. But they were like, okay, I have all these sats of these dead BRC20s. I'm going to like wait till sats are super low, bundle them out, just sell that as Bitcoin, right? But if they look now and then certain, BRC20s started pumping again, all they had to do was send sats back because that state was still there, because they never sold that BRC20. It's in the docs, I know for sure.
Nice.
Those ones I've read enough times. But yeah, it's definitely not on chain.
Well, Ordy was pumping today.
I mean, so we had someone in the chat here basically say the only way I use something is if it's in my Xverse app. And I think that this sort of brings up the wallet wars.
Oh, they're heating up right now.
Wallet wars.
Jesus, I feel so bad
World
for
War
people.
wallet.
Like, I keep having it happen where every time I'm like talking to someone, like, it's just like, no, it's right over there. Click the thing. Like, wait, what wallet are you on right now? Wait, weren't you on another wallet a second ago? I'm like, I was just switching. I'm sorry. I was over. Like, it's like, right now, I am switching between 7 different wallet apps. I think I'm losing my goddamn mind doing stuff.
And then, like, of course, 100+ accounts in each
oh,
of
exactly.
those.
No, 100 profile to 100. It's just ridiculous.
Okay.
So, but let's start here though. Like, Began, to you specifically, what app or what wallet do you recommend to people if they're like, hey, I want to get into ordinals? What wallet do I use?
So this is the problem, right? Because there's 2 things. Right now, it's like Magic Eden is becoming the home of everything. They seem to be trying to own that the best. There's problems, though, it's having in all of them, though.
Yeah.
Right? There's little issues I've been having on ETH, Solana, and Bitcoin, Ordinals, Runes, etc. with Magic Eden. However, the fact that it's one wallet, and I'm not trying to tell someone, no matter what, they have to do 2 or 3 wallets, that feels really good to tell a beginner. At the same time, you just tell them Xverse, and then things seem to be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unisat, that's like this. I don't know who I'd recommend Unisat for, except for like some, I don't know, right? Because if I'm going to recommend Unisat, I'd probably just say Sparrow. I'd go like, just go be a Sparrow nerd or something like that. So Sparrow for the nerds,
I think honestly, my answer to that, and maybe we can all answer it, is honestly just Xverse. I think that's been my answer for since the beginning. Like, that was the first one I used. It was incredibly similar to me to like to Phantom, right? Like they had very similar layout to Phantom. They had like 2 addresses. That's the only thing that I think is a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But like Unisat is a little bit too like dry, I guess, for like a beginner. But I've just always recommended X first, and I think that stays true today.
Unisat also like didn't keep up with everything, right? They were like, oh, we're not going to recognize certain things. So I think for like Ordinals specifically with like Kirsten, as everything that's come out that's new, right? I feel like Xverse has been the first to have a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be most focused solely on like Ordinals on the space, like doing updates. They're not. Magic Eden's got a lot of stuff to do here.
So Magic Eden, I actually
leather. No, I haven't. What's up with leather?
I like leather. I mean, I still use Xverse over it, but I like leather.
Leather actually has like a pretty cool perspective about, or not cool, but I think they're just targeting for like a lot different than like every single degen update. But I got to talk with their team in DC. But I was gonna say I also like. I love OKX wallet, and specifically for onboarding people, and like now Magic Eden has mobile, right, or is going to soon. So I think like that will probably compete a little bit, but for anyone coming from another chain, like the easiest way to get crypto, any other crypto into Bitcoin by far is like using OKX wallet.
Interesting. Actually, I haven't used OKX in a while. I downloaded and tried it out, but then I feel like it was similar to Xverse, and I just used Xverse instead.
It's like a little bit less like ordinal focus, right? Where you like go and you see your ordinals, but there's a ton of like DeFi on it, and you can like bridge between different things. So it's the closest you can inscribe on there. It's kind of the closest in America that you can get to like using OKX. So you obviously can't like cash in and out with fiat, but it's cool.
Don't worry, the big boys are coming back, okay? Right? Don't worry, Phantom's getting Bitcoin soon, right? MetaMask says they'll get it any day now. Don't worry about it. So MetaMask, they're back, okay?
So bad. I don't know what they are doing to make that product worse and worse and worse. I was trying to find my fucking Turbo the other day, and like I was like, what browser, what wallet, right? And like every single one had like different levels of updates, and I'm like, these are all so bad. Who told you to do any of these things?
No, it's wild. MetaMask is the open sea of wallets, so it's they're just bad.
Have you guys seen the marketing though from the oil wallet for Bitcoin though? They're going.
I
hard.
have.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're making it look sexy. They're trying to make a wallet look real sexy. That's what they're trying to do.
I really don't care what it looks like.
I know.
Does it give me money?
No, I mean, listen, I do think that there's something to be said about design, right? Like I do really care about design. Like obviously we focused on that with Bitcoin Art House. Like design is a large part of that, but like at the end of the day, you want functionality, right? Like, does this thing actually work when you need it to? Yeah. And that's, I think, the only thing I really question, I guess, with oil, right? I think that they've made a number of claims to do a swap, do a number of things in wallet, and it's been a long time, right? And so I'm hoping that they can sort of execute on that, but like just do one thing right, and then maybe go from there.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? Also, you have to think about it from a builder perspective, and like what wallets are making it easiest for people that are creating to implement those wallets into their site. And like consistently, I test a lot of things because people give it to me early for like tutorials, and like consistently, right? Xverse, and honestly, I've been seeing more and more of OKX. Like those two, it's always like, these are our first ones, they work. And so that's important too. It's like you want to have the wallet that's going to work for whatever you want to ape into immediately.
No joke. It's like literally the biggest hack in the world people don't realize. If you just figure out what is like the best educational content on actually integrating a wallet with everything, and you just say, okay, great, let's do SEO, crypto wallet, Bitcoin into website. Look at what the top sites are, and you can make the better content. It's still a raw new area, and you just make sure that it's whatever wallet you want it to be. Xverse. All of a sudden, it's like, why does every website just take Xverse? And people slowly switch over, not even realizing. You can like totally like psyop your way into being the people everyone use.
SEO, right? It's having like the easiest ready to
exactly.
implement,
Yeah.
You know,
dude,
like
tech stuff
Rainbow
flies
and,
to the top.
Yeah.
Like really well. Like if you make good educational content, make a YouTube video, make it will be resulted because there's not a lot out there.
We have the onboarding queen, I feel like, with Jen.
We're talking
Jen
more
comes
about
up the top for a lot of searches actually.
Yep.
So.
We're talking more about, I think, on the builder side though.
Yeah, the
right?
builder.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
What is like the easiest to implement and like the most commonly used tech stacks? Like for the builders, what is you don't want any bugs with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
And so I think like being trusted is huge, and that's Xverse. Obviously, Xverse is only Bitcoin, so I usually tell people like use OKX to swap into it because I'm not going to advise people to go through a centralized exchange.
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm gonna keep using everything right now because that's just how life is, and whatever
Same.
life is just gonna be annoying.
One
and I'm just gonna
airdrop
key.
at all of you.
Yeah. And also, it's okay. Sometimes in life.
Our favorite, the war can be won with money.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, I'm for sale. Tell me which one do you start using more? I'm not farming on any wallet. What the hell is going on? This makes no sense here.
I'm not doing that either. But
Yeah.
What you're doing, like Rabby, right? Or Rabbi,
Oh yeah. Well,
that's
maybe.
like one.
No, now I'm on Privy, man. Okay, that's
Oh, okay,
connected
my
right to
bad.
my X
What's
here too.
this?
Yeah, Privy. That's for Blast, Twitter only wallet for Blast. Yeah, Twitter. It's doing Twitter all through it. That's what I play. That's why I play Wolf Game on Blast now.
Got you.
I'm
No,
just
that's the
gonna
thing too.
stick to
We
Ordinals.
remember with all this wacky world where it was like, okay, great, now you're going to use 4 different wallets for ordinals and different stuff. Over in ETH land, they were like, hey guys, check it out. So Base and Blast, you're going to have to be. You could use a MetaMask, but MetaMask sucks. So maybe you want to try out something new. So maybe you want to. It's just like. Both areas spread into more wallets and more chains, so it's
The more wallets you have, the safer you are. Like I think that's alpha.
I think we
right?
have enough wallets. Honestly, I wish we had more competition on different levels of the ecosystem. Like the fact that we don't really have, like, as much as I love Magic Eden, like, why do we not have another competitor to Magic Eden? Like, why do we not
Because
have...
we don't have enough volume to support 2 marketplaces, right? I think in like
Well, no, I
peak-
mean, like that's the thing though, is that like if you
Magic
have
Eden, sorry.
2, I think quality teams building a quality product, like that would push potentially more volume, more eyeballs. Like there's more incentives for them to bring in more people to trade runes, to trade ordinals, right?
But I really think there's like not that many people trading, right? I think we saw like in peak bull last time, right? It was like OpenSea and Magic Eden, and obviously like when they started to add, chains onto each other, like you start seeing all this stuff, but then people are incentivizing different things and it kind of fucks with people trading. I think it's like good on one hand, but I actually think we can like learn and not recreate like the blur of Bitcoin. So I just caution,
Bitcoin, that's good.
like
VC just popped out.
No, I'm not like sort of pushing for a blur of Bitcoin. Like I just think that like there's different, like one of the biggest problems in my opinion right now is actually mempool sniping. Like who is building a marketplace that like just thwarts that singular problem that could probably take some customers away from, Magic Eden. I'm not asking for a multi-chain marketplace. I don't want that. And I think honestly, like any of these companies you can ask, OpenSea and Magic Eden, like as soon as they sort of expand to another chain, like their originating chain, like their sort of market share dwindles, right? This is sort of Tensor with Magic Eden on Solana. This is of course Blur with OpenSea as they expanded. Like it actually doesn't make any sense to go multi-chain. I just think that there's problems that can be solved, and I think that is potentially done by another competitor to Magic Eden. There's so many people that are really pissed off right now. I placed like 20 different buys for runes, and this is happening for runes too, not just ordinals. Like 17 of those were sniped, right? And that's just like I'm, I don't consider myself to be a giga whale, right? Like there's whales out there that want to buy even more. Like when they see something like that, they're like, I'm just gonna wait, I'll do OTC, and that hurts the ecosystem.
how do we like fix that, right? Because I mean that is a degree of centralization, and I feel like it happened on ETH in like a different way. I think you have a lot more time, right, to mempool snipe here, so it increases the chances of it happening. But like, what is the solution without giving up decentralization? Or like, are we saying that we want centralized authority?
So like in Ethereum, right? This has been a problem. MEV is a giant problem in Ethereum. However, this was solved through flashbots, right? So flashbots is people running modified nodes, right? So they're running a node. It's still decentralized. It's a network of them, right? And then when they go, they're essentially hiding the transaction until confirmation time. But now that requires a lot of people to run this other decentralized thing. We've already got this one decentralized thing of people running their own nodes. Now we're gonna be like, run this modified one. There could be something like that. Like that's like the only decentralized way. However, I think a lot of people are okay with saying like, okay, put my money over here. It's a little custodial spot for a second to just do some rune purchases, right? You know what I mean? Like, I need to buy some runes right now. I'm sick of, or to buy whatever. I don't want to get sniped real quick. Snipe free over here. People chill. I could see.
Because then I feel like all the transactions are not happening fully on chain, right? Because like the marketplace could also get sniped. So yeah,
But that's
maybe
a
it
fair
is the
trade-off. That's a
Flashbot
fair
thing.
trade-off. It's like with same thing with Salon. That's why you use Photon sometimes, right? Because you can't get a transaction to go through when it's so active and so hyped. But you move some Salon over to Photon real quick, you get that transaction over.
Well, I mean, that's what happened in
move it right
Solana.
off right
Everyone
after.
just sniped. The solution was now every single person snipes, and they made sniping very easy. And that could be what it is. That does make it a little rougher in the beginning.
Seems like
when
a
someone-
short-term solution. Really.
Well, it's tough because at the same time, Photon is easier
Yeah.
than all the other ways of buying. So you're sniping now. It's like you don't even you hit the one, you hit buy, and you're like, what the fuck? I just bought it. What the fuck? I just sold it. What's going on? They're going too fast.
The bigger problem is obviously though, like how many people really trust Photon, right? Like we know that these different sort of custodial marketplaces or sort of functions sometimes or usually get hacked, and then so that's really the trade-off here, right? It's like how much money do you actually want to have custodial?
And then when you for the marketplaces too, right? If they are being custodial, they're probably going to have to KYC people at a certain point, and we don't want that. So I think we just need to be careful in how the solution comes. I'm obviously not smart enough to figure out how we solve it. Began, sounds like you have a plan.
Oh, we got a plan. We're gonna fix it tonight.
We had everyone
Building.
set up nodes because they thought it was gonna make them rich from runes, which was dumb. But I think we could get everyone to do it again to be like,
Totally.
hey, no more sniping. I actually
All of these things are just Trojan horses, right? But like these are great Trojan horses to get you to set up a node, to set up or to be interested in Bitcoin assets. I think are good net positive Trojan horses.
No
Totally
joke.
agree.
I've been doing my whole life. It's always we have a motto on my stream. We trick people into learning. They don't realize. They go, wait, what are you doing? I thought I was having fun. I'm learning to code, and you're like, gotcha.
I'm
You're
making
like,
money
learning
while
to put-"
enjoying. Yeah,
Exactly.
I like it.
Sometimes you got to trick people into the learning here.
You have to. Well, what are we most excited about sort of coming up next? So maybe a next meta.
I mean, for me, I'm a tech nerd, so it really does feel like to me like a bunch of ordinal stuff and a bunch of rune stuff has not been explored yet. I still haven't seen what are we calling the nameless runes? We still don't have the first nameless rune yet. I got to go double check on that if it still hasn't happened. There's a bunch of interesting I'm not seeing people use Lifos FAP fractionalizing ordinals into assets. I'm seeing the start of some cool super double triple recursive stuff on ordinals, but it's just the start of it and people are figuring it out. It's like a new meta, so it's there's a bunch of fun tech stuff we can go see. We don't have to worry about the money stuff. Just do the fun, focus on weird tech new, and then one of them will probably hit and pop and be worth something because that's just how the world works. So that's what I'm into.
What about you, Rose?
I mean, for Ordinals specifically, man, I don't think we've seen art really pop off yet. I mean, I don't know if we're going to call it a meta. I don't think it's going to be like a money-making meta quite yet. But after we're done making money, art's going to pop off. And it's going to be an exciting time. I hear a lot of artists talking about it still and thinking about it. And I just hope they do it the right way. But it's inevitable. Ordinals is really a beautiful art chain. So I can't wait till the strong, really great intentional art, and hopefully there's a way for, say, some generative artists and whatnot to tap into the differences between a smart contract generative art and what we could do on Bitcoin. Maybe it hasn't even been discovered yet, but I hope to see that. I think there's more hyped meta in the space, but for Bitcoin, I think that's definitely something we're going to see sometime down the road.
Jen?
Yeah, I feel like we can't predict the next meta. I'm obviously really excited for Nashville. I feel like there's a ton of really fun things planned. And yeah, everyone's been all over the world, right? I feel like IRL connecting. I've been gone for 3 weeks. I'm happy to be back here. I think when you put awesome energy together, things happen that none of us could predict. So
I love it. I'd have to say I'm also really excited about, different sort of art stuff. I think OpCat, particularly excited about. I really want to see what's the truth behind it, right? Because I think you see Udi on the timeline, you see a number of these other sort of people that are OpCat solves everything. Does it, right? Does it really take, runes to the next level? Does it take anything to the next level? I can't wait.
I want an answer though. What is OpCat going to do? What is it not going to do? I wish someone could explain that. Everyone's it'll just allow us to build cooler stuff. Give me an example. I want to be prepared.
Okay, Jen, I'm gonna no joke. I got some time now. Okay, we finished moving studios finally, and I'm gonna do a deeper dive. And then I'm already started a little bit, but I'm gonna do one deeper dive, make some content, and actually try and break that down. Because truthfully, I've been looking at it too, and I'm this does seem exciting, and it could open a bunch of stuff. But it's the devil's in the details. Once you actually get in there, it's gonna be oh, you can't do this one thing, and it's oh wait, that's everything. So I gotta.
Really
I'm looking into it as well.
like
Chip is
it
too.
Okay, good.
But
We got Chip on it.
feels like it really doesn't open up that much, right? It's okay, one transaction can lead to another one, but within that, you're still so limited as to you can't program stuff on Bitcoin, so it's not going to be smart contracts we're Like, I feel like a lot of people are simplifying it, but I'm excited for you to do your deep
Well,
dive.
no, you just said you could give me
because
one
I'm
clue like that. We
dumb.
can do a million things from there. Okay, he says one transaction calls another transaction. If I can go to another transaction that's being controlled,
Dude.
that's
Well,
like not on chain,
but it's-
then that first one can change, and you have infinite.
But
You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
no, no. So it's okay. Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
feel like
build
this is
some
an
stuff,
offline
okay.
conversation.
All right, we're
because
gonna build
from what
some
I
stuff.
We're
understand-
gonna go build some stuff.
Yeah.
If anyone is in LA tonight, or if you just want to watch online, IRL Alpha, we're doing a show here. BG's actually gonna be on here. We got some other
Yeah.
people. We got Caruso from Wicked. You just bought Wicked Craniums.
Wicked Craniums.
Deep inside the ticketing music space, so that's gonna be fun. We got Show Me from DJ and Social Club. Super deep. I mean, he's degenerate. You know what I mean? He's in everything, so he'll catch us up on
D-Gods,
everything.
yep.
Exactly. We got Loop from what is his new
Sports.
Not Loop.
Metasport.
Oh,
Metasports.
Stone.
Not Loop.
Stone,
Not
Stone.
Loop. Stone.
Oh, not Loop. Sorry, Loop's off Stone now. Jeez, Loop will
Yeah,
be here.
yeah.
Almost Loop here. Stone, who I mean, he's
Big into
trained.
fashion,
He's
yeah.
big in the fashion creative director, so that'll be a good
Yeah.
show. IRLalpha.com. You want any links for that here? We'll be back next week, same time. I think Troy and
Yep.
Boo might be
We'll be all
back,
yeah.
but they also might be traveling around the world again. They're really becoming jet setters. It's
fucking
becoming
see.
hard. We have to talk to their managers now, but they're still returning our calls. So.
Yeah, but this
See
has
you next
been
week.
Ordinals Are Dead, Season 2, Episode 4.
Oh yeah, those aren't the right heads. Jen's not out. I'm not Boo.